Morning, everybody. It's the Biscuit Box. It's Wednesday at 11 a.m. Every Wednesday we talk about creativity. We meet creative people. We don't meet creative people, and we just talk about mindset things and topics that impact creative people's lives. And I'm happy that you're here. And this week we have a guest, a very special guest actually, and she's going to talk about residencies, art residencies, and I haven't got a clue about these, what they are. And this lady, who I'm going to introduce in a little minute, if you're wondering, well, who is she? What's her name? You skipped that bit, Tara. And she's going to tell us all about residencies, what they are, how you get into them, you know, what the crack is with them in Ireland, and even, you know, abroad as well, of what the whole thing is about. So that's the topic for today. So I'm going to introduce this lovely lady. Her name is Lorna Watkins. Lorna, welcome this morning to the Biscuit Box.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Hello, Bickies.
It's good to have you, Lorna. You're one of the homey Bickies. You've been in the community a very, very long time. So so you're a special one. And you're an amazing painter, I must say. And facilitator as well, because you I don't know, do you do your workshops anymore, Lorna? But you used to.
I do. If people come to me privately, I do. I'm also doing Airbnb experiences. That's kind of what I'm focusing more on at the minute. So I bring people out to gorgeous Mullaghmore, and then I also have a studio experience as well. I bring people into my studio. So it's a 3-hour experience, and they just get to draw the landscape. In my studio or by the sea. So in the summertime, I kind of focus on the sea ones, and obviously when it's lashing rain, I bring them into the studio.
Brilliant. And where are you actually, if people don't know where you are?
I'm in North Sligo, near Grange. So I bring people out to Mullaghmore by the harbour. So it's great. It's fantastic. So I have, it's mainly tourists, but I have the odd Irish people, and it's fantastic. Great crack. Really.
And why I mentioned that, because I've done one of your workshops. God, how many years ago was that? Like 2 years ago, was it?
Yeah.
2 years ago, and it was such a fantastic weekend. And not only the painting bit, like that's nearly the side bit to it.
Yeah, it actually is, to be honest. It's people I just want people to relax and to get into the landscape and just take time for themselves.
Yeah, it's great. And you just add so much crack and energy to it. Like, oh my God, I was like, I don't need to paint at all. I'll just sit here and listen to Lorna for the weekend. You're brilliant. Such a skill to have, Lorna. So you do the Airbnb stuff, and did you mention open studio? What's that, Lorna? I know. Yeah.
I'm going to have my first open studio this summer. And so what that is basically the public can come to my studio, which is in my house, in my home in Sligo. And so the studio will be transformed into kind of an exhibition. So the part of it will probably be like a working studio, and then the rest of it will be set up kind of like an exhibition. So I'll have older work and new work and everything in between, drawings and prints. So it's a great way of people to see what a studio looks like, and just to experience what it's like and what I do. And and
I must say, there's nothing nicer than walking into a studio and getting that smell of tar and paint. You don't get that in a gallery. There's a huge because I remember going into your studio when I was up in Sligo and just standing there going, it's like in art college again. Oh, that's
when you're in the gallery, you don't get to talk to the artist as well, so you don't. Yes. You don't know what it's about or what I was thinking at a particular time when I was doing a piece.
Yeah,
so that's really nice.
That's great. Well, I'm sure we'll post out when that's going to happen at the end of the summer, is it?
Yeah, I think in August.
Yeah, cool. That's
the end of August, I think. Yeah.
Great. Well done. I think it's a smart idea too to open up.
I think I'll do one around in winter time as well before Christmas. So maybe a 20-year thing. I might do it regularly then.
With mulled wine and all the shenanigans. Yeah. How bad, girl? How bad? So we're here today to talk about art Artist Residencies. Tell us all about that, because I know you've just finished one, Lorna. Can you tell us all about what the crack is?
The crack is this, I've been doing residencies, I think now for 5 years. So like at the start, I was like, oh God, what is a residency? And kind of what it is, I have some notes here. It's really, the main thing is it's time and space to reflect on your practice and on your painting. And you can use that time, well, it depends on the residency. A lot of them really, there's no expectation. You can use that time to read a book if you want, or you can write your novel, or even if you're a painter, you can decide to write a novel, or it's really just time to come up with new work. So for me, like I said, I'm after doing a 3-week residency, so that's the longest time I've ever spent. It's usually been 10 days or a week. So 3 weeks was like, whoa, it was kind of mind blowing. You have to have 3 weeks to think. And like I did things like read books again, the way, because just, the way like day-to-day life, like I'm a mom, I've got 2 kids and then 2 stepsons, and it's busy, like, so you just don't always get time to sit down and think. So I really started remembering how I go about making a painting, what's the best way, like, and for me it was writing. So I got into writing again. And so did some great work, and I finished one piece, but that kind of wasn't my objective. My objective was to just get into my head again. And I came up with a new palette. So yeah, all sorts of really great stuff happens if you have time for yourself to do it, The other thing you do is you meet really fantastic people that you'd never meet, and you make great connections, and fantastic things can happen from that, or they mightn't, or things might happen years to come. So that's kind of a really important thing that people don't think about. Like a girl that I know, she was at the residency that I was at just the last week. She met people who were professors in the US, and they invited her to go and give a lecture. So I mean, that never would have happened had she been on it. And so lots of really gorgeous things like that.
Lorna, can I ask you, is it always with people? Is it like you're living in a house?
They're all different. The one I was at was the Ballinglen Arts Foundation. So you're provided with the studio. You have your own studio, and you're given your house yourself. But in different places, you might be given a shared studio space. And you might be in shared accommodation. It just depends. There's just a huge variety. Like, there's residencies all over the world for every shape and size. There's ones that accept families. There's ones that accept your partner. There's ones that don't accept your partner. They're just for yourself. Yeah. I'm actually going to another one in Kilrillig, which I'm sure a lot of people would know, down in Ballinskelligs in Kerry.
Oh yeah.
And that's a fantastic project, and that's really much more solitary than the last one I was on. Whereas the last one was very, they encouraged your family to come. Whereas this one, they're like, no, it's just yourself. So that's great. So you're in a different zone in that, and it's quite solitary. And I think there's 6 cottages beside each other, but you mightn't see anybody all day. And if you want to see people, you can knock on their door and go hi, and then people mightn't answer the door. And that's fine. They want to be on their own. And so that one is definitely much more solitary and very rural. You have to go 3 miles to the shop. There's no Wi-Fi. So you will get loads of work done for that one. It's, because
like, can I go on? Wait, can I get in there?
Right at the edge of a cliff. Like, it's just, it's amazing. Like, it's really inspiring and a very magical place. And as well, because all these other people that have been there, you're like, oh my God, who slept in my bed? It's just, so, it's fantastic. Who has been on the toilet? It's amazing. It's very inspiring. Yeah, no, it's great. So then as well, at the end of when you get accepted to go on a residency, there's different expectations. So for the one I was at there in Ballinglen, they want a piece of your work. So you show them 8 pieces, like in 3 months' time, and they take a piece of your work, and that will go into their foundation, because they have a contemporary museum that they're in the middle of building. So your work's going to be on show, and that work then travels. It goes to the US. Or there was a show last year in the RHA. So that's a fantastic honor to be in that collection. That's really, really great. And the same then for Kilrillig, they want a piece of your work at the end of it as well because it's free. So these two places are free, but most other places you have to pay. But there's one place I looked up in Donegal. Let me give you the name of it. I'll probably go back to this Art Link in Donegal, and they were offering a paid residency, €4,000 paid residency for a month. Wow. So it's amazing.
Why are some free and some paid?
Well, that's the ones that are free. They're generally, it's a charity, and people have given, they're raising money the whole time to keep it that way so that the artists can come. So the one in Ballinglen, they've got this foundation. So they've got it was started by an American couple. So they're raising money the whole time in America to make this happen. And it's mainly American fellows go to it. I mean, I was one of the only Irish people there that were there at the time. So
how did you get that then, Lorna? If you were doing it? Okay.
It's applied. I mean, the one for Ballinglen is very simple. It's if you're an Irish person, it doesn't cost. If you're an international person, it's $30 or whatever. But you just put in images of your work, and you needed some referees, and that's it. So it's you're either in or you're out. It's very simple. Everybody needs to give it a go. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Jeannie, it sounds amazing just to give yourself time to just.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's so precious. It's
wow. Really amazing. Anna's asking a question. Anna says, where's the best place online to check what residencies are available?
Oh, great question, Anna. There's a best wormhole you can go down for an afternoon. It's called, now I don't know if it's Spanish or French, but I'm going to say it with my Irish accent, Res Artis. So that's RESARTIS.org.
I'm just going to pull that up there. And
that's like the International Federation for Residencies.
Got it. Yeah.
You'll see if you put in, then you can do it by filter. So you can, if you want a photographic, I don't know what accent I was putting on. Residency, you just put in photography, and they'll throw back all the ones. There could be ones in Iceland, in Norway, Spain, whatever.
And is it just painting, photography, or is there like
ones? Yeah, everything. There's dance, there's writing, like the one in the Tyrone Guthrie Centre in, I think that's Cavan. Maybe the Cavan people are going to kill me. I'm not sure. I think it's Cavan. But they accept, they would have like a dance. I think they have a dance room in there. They have a grand piano for a musician. They accept everybody. And then the kind of stipulation is there, you must have dinner all together. There's like 10 people in the house. And my friend has just been there last week, my friend Kay. And so everybody comes together once a day, and your dinner's provided for you. So that's a very special place as well. So there's actually residencies there offered, paid residencies offered through the county council, through your local county council. So she got it through Clare County Council. So yeah, they come up every year. So you'll see them if you contact your arts officer in your county council, they'll probably be able to help you with that one.
And just to get that information, that's incredible. I love the getting together at the end.
Yeah, it's lovely.
That's a nice kind of thing, because you want the poetry for your own head and your thoughts and your process, and it's nice to be able to share it then, isn't it? Will you do that down in Ballinskelligs then, or is it completely, because my brother lives down there sometimes, and you can see a lot of the artists in the pub all getting hammered in the evening?
Well, I mean, you can do that, but there's a house that they have, like a communal house, and kind of upstairs they have like a library. So one time that I was there, 5 of us got together and we all cooked dinner one night. So that was lovely. But my experience there has been, I've kind of kept myself to myself. I kind of really want. I was just the way I was.
Yeah, you just go. Yeah.
But I mean, I met a guy there actually one time, and he said he was a residency bunny. Like he just goes, he doesn't actually have a house. He goes from residency to residency all over the world. So you'll meet people like that, He's
wow, and like
right time. So he does.
But like, is there strict criteria to get in? Why aren't all artists doing that all the time? Like, or are they? Or
a lot of people are. It depends on your situation as well. I mean, obviously, if you've got family, it's It's not easy. And if you just go, oh, if you're a one-car family and one of you has to drive to Ballinskelligs,
yeah,
it's an 8-hour drive. Like, you know, it's, I might as well be gone to New York.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, there's all that stuff, the practicalities. That's, I don't know. But
yeah. And did you?
As well, when people are starting off, they're kind of like, oh, you know, that's for other people. That's not for me.
Yeah.
But that's really not true, because a lot of them, they encourage emerging artists, and I'd really encourage you to give it a go. It's not just for
established
or established artists, you know. So
wow, and I think that it's great to hear that, Lorna, because I think a lot of people think that they're not at that level yet to be to people to even think.
You'll never be at that level unless you start doing them. That's the thing. Like a really good reason for doing residencies is for your CV, because if you're making proposals for an exhibition or whatever, if the committee or whatever see that you've been serious enough to take out 3 weeks of your year to commit to your artwork, I mean that's a big thing, you know. It's like you're showing them that you're dedicated, you know, that you're serious about it. So that is valuable.
That's great. Like, and I think some people don't even think about them, like, you know, and it's not talked about a lot, actually, is the residency thing. Well, probably in a certain place, but like we don't, like in the Biscuit community, I've never really heard a lot of residency talk inside the box. Like, so it's interesting just to get that conversation going. Catherine says, Catherine's leaving a link. She just found a specific link for Japan for residency in the next couple of years. So there's a link now for you if you want to go to Japan, Lorna.
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's great.
And any was there any kind of restrictions or anything that you didn't like about residencies, or?
No. I mean, there's lots of different ones. I mean, if you look up, the other kind of the ones that you can do are you'd see kind of there could be kind of curatorial ones, I suppose. So there'd be a curator in place, and they might want 12 artists who all want to work on a similar theme. Like the curator might say, we want to work on science and the environment. So you could be a sculptor, you could be a digital artist, you could be a dancer. So that you get all these minds and creative juices together under one roof for a week or a month or whatever. And so they kind of see what they come up with. So that's kind of another residency, which is, that's really interesting as well.
That's really interesting. And then it's the body of work that comes out of it. That's nearly the payback to the people hosting the residency. It's nearly they're building up their
CV, or they could publish that or whatever, you know. So that's so it's very interesting. I mean, it's a huge, it's so varied. It really is. It really is. And you get out of it what you put in. I mean, you really do.
Like yeah. You
really do.
Anna says, am I right to think some residencies cost money?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, most of them do, Anna. Most of them do, to be honest. And even the free ones, they're not. You still have to pay for your light and your heat and your Wi-Fi if there's Wi-Fi, or your laundry. There's still always a cost.
Yeah.
You always have to buy your own food. So I mean, it's. I'm not going to sit here and say it's cheap, because it's not. It's going to cost you money. But I mean, if you're going to go on holiday, it could be an option to going on holiday. You know what I'm saying? Or I know a girl I know here in Sligo. She's a sculptor, and I think she went to Iceland 2 or 3 times with her daughter and her husband, and they would have gone for 3 months at a time when her daughter was younger. So I mean, if your family situation allows you to do that, you can do that. And somebody else I know, they went to Mexico for 6 months and took her kids out of school, and they went to school in Mexico. And I mean,
wow.
You know, the world is your oyster. I mean, her work was all about death and the Mexican culture of death. So she had to. What are you going to? You're not going to do that in Sligo. You're going to. She's like, well, they're all coming with me. We're all going to Mexico, lads. So
wow, that's amazing. So it's just kind of thinking outside the box that you're given. That, like,
absolutely.
You know, and not to be afraid of reaching out and asking, you know, and applying and getting
Right, yeah. So if your work is concerned about the environment and the melting of the ice caps, and well, go up there and have a look. Go get a residency up in that part of the world, and you know,
and start really living it, like
living it and breathing it, and
your
work will only benefit from it.
Wow, that's amazing. Jeannie Mac, I didn't realize it was so not easy to do, but that there was so much on offer for people. Like,
yeah, absolutely. And when you go into that resartists.org, when you go into that website, like there's all these you just type in what you want, like I've got my brain's dead, Tara, tags or whatever. You just search, like, so if you want one that's a solo, or if you want one for families, paid, unpaid, ones with shared studio, just type in what you want, it'll throw back millions of them.
Okay, it's kind of like an Airbnb like site.
Exactly. It's a huge search engine, like it's brilliant.
Wow, that's brilliant. I know there's going to be lots of artists right now going down a wormhole of this and this. And Anna Dorado, I know specifically you are definitely going in there now going,
yeah.
Why not?
And if you're going to be over in Spain, there might be something over where your family are. I mean, you never know.
Incredible. Open up the mind to new possibilities, gang. It's all out there. So anything else, Lorna? Any other tips or tricks on the whole art residency thing?
Well, just how you apply. They're all, a lot of them, they'll all have different things, but it's generally all the same. I mean, the essential thing is you need good images of your work. So whatever you're doing, either get a photographer. It's like photos on your phone isn't good enough. They have to be really good. So for the last two I applied, I printed them off, but I got them printed on. I didn't print them out the printer myself. I got them done from the G-Clay or whatever you call that stuff. Like, I paid to get good prints done, and that pays off. You know, if you're gonna, the competition's really high, so you have to be at the top of your presentation has to be really good. And sometimes you'll need a CV, sometimes you'll need an artist statement, sometimes you'll need a referee's letter. Other times you might need a proposal. They might say, oh, we'd like a proposal, what you're going to do when you're with us for the month or for the week or whatever. So that's fine, you do that. And sometimes they'd have a requirement as well. They might want you to do a workshop or a talk with the community. There's one on Achill Island called the Heinrich Boll Residency, which is for writers and visual artists. And that is one of their requirements. They want you to maybe give a workshop in the local school, or to give a talk, or have an open studio so people can come and see your work. So that's kind of thing. That's what you propose in your letter when you're saying, could I please come and have a residency here?
Please.
Please. Yes.
Okay, so they're good tips, Lorna. Just like the image has to be really strong, not to rush it, like to put it together like a proper proposal thing.
Yeah.
Like it, really take it seriously.
Don't be giving them proposals if they don't ask for a proposal. It's only if they ask for it.
Yeah.
So for what they want, because they'll throw that out as well.
Okay.
So don't want an essay, you know.
Yeah.
So, look what they want, give them what they want, but give it to them really well.
And just from a referee perspective, would that be like someone that you've worked in a gallery with, or an art teacher, or a college professor?
Up to you.
Okay,
that is up to you. It could be another artist. It could be your arts officer. It could be somebody that you know, but somebody. There's no point saying Johnny down the road if Johnny down the road has no status. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Relevant.
Yeah.
And who they will know, or who they can search, you know what I mean, who's in good standing in the community or whatever.
A character reference, really, more than anything else, that you're not.
Yeah, they really just want to know that you're not just getting a free bed for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that you're serious.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, yeah. So I was going to say, what else have I got to say now? I've done that. Oh, yeah. So when you do get it, it actually, tell me to shut up, Tara, as well. Because
No, go on. I want to keep talking. I'm like,
well, it takes a while to settle in. I've discovered this now. Like, I remember the first time I went into residency, I spent about a good 3 days totally freaking out, going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm here." And you get this anxiety and you're this imposter syndrome. You're like, "Oh, I'm not worthy, and what am I going to do? And what if the stuff I do isn't good enough?" And especially if you're told before you have to produce a piece, and you're like, "Jesus, it's going to be crap. They're not going to want it. I'll never get back," and blah 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 blah. So you just gotta really know that kind of stuff it's all bullshit. You're there because you deserve to get there. And I went through this whole thing again. I had wasted a whole few days in my head going, and it's hilarious. So you just settle yourself and kind of allow those first few days that you're there, really just go sightseeing, that's all part of it as well. Like, do go for loads of walks and drive around and really enjoy yourself. So I took millions of photographs. Again, a thing I hadn't done in ages. I brought my good camera with me. And they're all things you can kind of get your way in. I was running all around down the roads and doing, so it's not like when you go there, you have to get the paintbrushes out and start or making a feature film day one. That's start writing that sonata the minute you get out of the car. That's not, it's really all about getting in and getting into the flow. And if you are in a city, getting your way around, that's all part of it. And if you're there for a while, like 3 weeks, part of what they wanted me to do or what they kind of like is to get into the community. So you're spending time in the village and getting to know people. That's kind of part of it as well. I mean, obviously, if you're only somewhere for a week, that's not going to happen. But one of the ones, there's a residency. I mean, if I was young, free and single, or even old, free and single, there's one in New York, the NARS International Residency Program. So that's either 3 months or 6 months in Brooklyn. So, I mean, hello, amazing. A lot of that's going to be all soaking up New York. I mean, you're not expected to go bang, 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 be creating straight away,
Can you bring your kids though and your family? No.
Not to that one.
That'll come too, though. That'll come at some point.
Oh, you have to pay. That's a big chunk of money. You have to pay. I think it's 6,000 for 3 months, 12,000 for 6 months.
Right.
Big chunk, but you apply for funding. So I mean, don't ever be put off by anything, by money or.
Yeah.
There's ways around it if you want to do it.
Yeah, there's always ways around it.
And I don't apply. I mean, I apply and I don't know how it's going to happen, how things will pan out. Because I was saying to you, Tara, like my family stuff was all a disaster. My parents were both in hospital before I went to Ballinglan, and it was just like, oh my God! But it just all works out, So you can't say. I mean, I think it's kind of nonsense to say you can't do it. To be honest, if you want to do it, you'll do it.
It's like anything, isn't it, Lorna? It's like anything. If you convince yourself that you can't do stuff because of fear, or
you're worth it.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes back to that, doesn't it? It's funny. Yeah. Even with me wanting to be a runner, like I know you're running, we talked about this earlier, and I'm like, oh my God, I keep meeting people that are where I want to be. I want to be a runner. What is stopping me? Maybe I look funny when I run. I can't run. I'll fall over. Like, I have all these things. Like, you're going, like, what's wrong?
Yeah, just have to do it.
Yeah, just do it. You're right. Like,
so like for any of these things, just unload the application thing, shove it in the post. It'll either say yeah or no, and that's it. So you'll worry about how you get in. Brilliant. You'll worry about how to get the money together, how he's going to look after your chickens and your kids or whatever. And it'll all be sorted.
The chickens and the children, they'd be grand. But you do find a way, though. You do find a way.
Yeah, there is always a way.
There is always a way. I think that's great learning in life.
Don't let stuff block you from applying for really fantastic experiences.
That's good advice, Lorna. I definitely think that's great advice. And don't wait till the next thing is over or the kids are. Yeah, I was even talking to Matt last night about that. Let's not wait to do the things when we're
Yes.
retired, because we might never get there. It's so
That's
true.
It's
so
true. Yeah, you have to do it now. Do you know, now is the time.
You're healthy and young enough.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really kind of with you on that one, definitely. Eileen, hi Eileen. Eileen says, great knowledge. Nuggets, do you mind if I share this? Share away mad, girl, share away mad. And Anna says, there's a place in Andalusia, my home place. So there you go, Anna. Go. And Susan, hey, Susan says, sounds both amazing and scary at the same time.
Yeah, but scary is great. I love scary.
Yeah. Scary is great, isn't it? And it's interesting that you highlight that too, Lauren. I think that's a great thing to talk about too, is just that that nearly it's a natural thing to feel the imposter syndrome and feel that, oh no, I have to produce the stuff now. This is the hard bit. What if I'm not, you know?
And then you're seeing all the other people, if you're in a place with other artists that are there and you're going, oh my God, they're amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like they're way down the road than you are, and you're comparing yourself, which is all nonsense because they've been where you are at some stage as well. Like I was looking at a man who was obviously late 60s, you know, professor in a like, you know, like there's just no comparison because he's been doing it all that time and I haven't, you know. So you just have to go, no, I'm here. This is, you know, it's valid. I've got my space here. You know, I'm as entitled to be here as anybody else, and you are as well.
Yeah. I think that's a lovely thing to say. I just think it's so important because that's what stops the application process as well.
Yeah.
Confidence, definitely. Lorna, you're brilliant. Have you anything else now on those notes before we end the call?
There's a lovely one in Connecticut. I'm going to do that when I grow up. That's the one.
So New York and Connecticut. Why is Connecticut so great?
Joseph and Annie Albers Foundation, who were the Bauhaus founders.
Okay.
And they have one in Connecticut, and it's meant to be gorgeous. So that's kind of like a 3 or 4 month job. So I'll definitely do that when the kids are a bit older.
When they're older.
That's a fab one. And they actually have, I just was looking there. There's some connection to one in Cork. They've started one. So I think they're all invited artists to go to that one. So that's interesting. But yeah, like it's a huge rabbit hole to be going down. It's fantastic.
And a good one to be going down.
A great one. A really good one. Yeah.
Brilliant, Lorna. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I know you're a very busy woman with your amazing artwork. We can just see one behind you there. Oh, look at that. Oh my God. I love your work. And just to say as well, because myself and Lorna worked on a piece. Well, no, I asked her to do a piece for me. So Lorna does a lot of commissions. So if you of anyone that wants amazing work, like I love Lorna's work. It was such a good experience, actually. It's all about the experience with Lorna Watkins. It was such a lovely experience. That to-fro thing, I really enjoyed that back and forth thing and everything that happened. It was great. And then the delivery of it's such a lovely thing to do, to work with something like that. It was really, really great.
Yeah, so message me or email me. And if anybody wants, or by commissions is yes. And if anybody wants to talk to me or ask me questions about residencies, fire ahead. You're more than welcome.
Thank you so much. I'll drop your I've dropped your website into the comments so people can contact you through that. Thank you so much, Lorna Watkins. I really appreciate you taking the time out this morning. And keep up the amazing work and keep us posted on your residencies on the next one. Let us know.
Yes, I'm off to Kilrillig now in September. That's my next.
Lovely time of year as well down there.
God, the weather might be better than it has been in June. I mean, it's just been desperate.
Oh, it will. It'll be lush.
Tropical.
That's what you want.
Tropical.
Thanks so much, Lorna. Thanks a million. Bye. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks so much, gang, for tuning in. I'll see you next week at 11 o'clock on the Biscuit Box. Keep creative. Bye. Bye.